Okay. So what's the difference between gig sampling and the match price algorithm? Okay. First, okay. The first difference is that at each point in the work, one of the component parameters is selected. Okay, you select one component. Okay, one parameter. Okay, one parameter. Okay, and okay, the component parameter could be selected at random. Okay, you can randomly select the component parameter. Okay. If you have n parameters, okay, you can sample these n parameters at random, okay, to determine like which one to change in each step, okay. But typically, okay, the parameters are cycled through, okay, in the order of theta 1 theta 2 theta 3, blah 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 blah. To theta n, and then again from theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Why don't we use simply use random selection? It is just because we would like to guarantee that all the theta are, changed, have an equal probability to change. Okay. Even though, okay, if you run it for many rounds, okay, and you select the theta I at random, yeah, all the theta i's, okay, will have roughly equal number of times to be selected, but okay, it will not be as how should I say, as like as guaranteed as like you use like theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, okay, just this order, right? If you use this order, you are guaranteed that all the theta i's will be selected, unless, of course, unless you only have like less than n number of steps, okay, less than n number of iteration, which is no matter how you select the parameters, well, you just cannot select all the parameters anyway, right? Okay, so the reason that parameters are cycled rather than selected randomly is that for complex models with many dozens of hundreds of parameters, it would take too many steps to visit every parameters by random chance alone. Okay, so even though they would be visited about equally often in the long run, so in the long run, yeah, the random selection work well, but just to guarantee that each one will be selected, okay, we normally will just use a round robin fashion. Okay, so this is the first difference. Okay, because in a match price algorithm, you do not select the parameters. Okay, basically you just, for example, like in this two theta example, okay, two parameter example, we just use a bivariate normal, right? And then we just have just select like a arbitrary direction with arbitrary distance, right? Of course, like the longer distance, less likely it will be selected. Okay, but okay, it could be at any direction. Okay, it could be any distance. Okay, but no. Okay, instead of doing that, okay, we are doing the change. Okay, for each selected parameter. Okay, we only change the selected parameter each time. For the other unselected parameters, the value will be kept, will be unchanged. Okay, the value will be unchanged. Okay. So after the component is selected, suppose that parameter theta I has been selected. Gives sampling, then chooses a new value for that parameter. So it's going to change that particular parameter. Okay, it's going to just do a random walk on that particular selected parameter. For the other parameters, okay, they remain unchanged. Okay, so the give simply then chooses a new value for that parameter by generating a random value directly from the conditional probability distribution, where P of theta I, and okay, not only D is on condition of D, it's also on condition of the other theta. Okay, so all the other theta are fixed. Okay, all the other theta are fixed. Okay, so new value for theta I combined with the unchanged value of the other parameters constitute the new position in the random walk. Okay, so the process then repeats. Okay, select a component parameter, most likely it's the next parameter. Okay, and select a new value for that parameter from its conditional posterior distribution, and so on. So keep doing that. Okay, so one important thing is, okay, you are going to generate a random value directly from this one, from a conditional probability distribution, this one. So you need to be able to derive this thing. Okay, for Gibbs sampling to work, okay, you need to have this conditional probability distribution. Okay, so this is an example. Okay, in the first step, we want to select a new value for theta 1. Okay, this is the 2 theta scenario. So you can see, okay, here first, okay, we select theta 1. So the theta 2 is unchanged. Okay, so you see here, okay, suppose the original position is here. Okay, then basically, okay, you are going to, since the theta 2 is unchanged, so we try to see only this, because the theta 2 is unchanged, right? So it's kind of like you make a cut, okay, at that particular theta 2 value. You get this curve. This is your what I just said, what I just described, the conditional probability distribution. Okay? And then you just sample it directly from this conditional probability distribution. Okay? To get a new theta 1 value. Okay? Say it's here. Okay? So then the theta 2 is unchanged, but you move to here. Okay? And then in the next round, okay, the theta 1 is unchanged. Okay? Then it's kind of like you cut it with theta 1 equal to this value. Okay? A plane like this. Okay? And you get another curve like this. This is, again, your conditional probability distribution. And you are going to select a theta 2 based on this probability distribution, and to decide like where you are going to move to in the next iteration. Okay, that's pretty much about it. Okay, is it clear? Conceptually, this is the Gibbs sampling. Okay, so first, like, what exactly is one, and why is Gibbs sampling more efficient? Okay. Okay. First, Gibbs sampling can be thought of as just a special case of Metropolis algorithm, in which the proposal distribution depends on the location in parameter space and the component parameter selected. So it's just like just like the regular matrix algorithm, but your proposal distribution is dependent to your location. Okay? And the component parameters selected. Okay? At any point, the component parameter is selected. And then the proposal distribution for that parameter's next value is the conditional posterior probability of that parameter. But because the proposal distribution exactly mirrors the posterior probability for that parameter, so the proposed move is always accepted. So it doesn't need to, in the matrix algorithm, okay, you propose a move, and then you need to throw a spinner. Remember, you need to throw a spinner. Spin a spinner. Okay, you need to spin a spinner, or like generate a random value between 0 and 1 to see if your proposal is accepted or not, right? Okay, but in the deep sampling, you don't need to do that because the proposal distribution exactly is the posterior probability. Okay, distribution. So the proposed move is always accepted. This is very important. That's why deep sampling is much more efficient. It's much more effective. Okay, but the issue is, okay, deep sampling is especially useful when the complete joint posterior, okay, this thing, cannot be analytically determined and it cannot be directly sampled. Because if you have this is posterior distribution, right? This is posterior distribution. If you have that directly, well, you don't need to use like a Bayesian. The Bayesian inference becomes so simple, right? You just use that as your posterior. You're done, right? You're done. That's your, well, no matter how you get it, okay? If you can analytically obtain this term, that's your posterior, right? That's your posterior. So, if you can do that, that's, the job is done. You don't need to do anything more, okay? But sometimes this one is very difficult to obtain. But, okay, all the conditional distributions, okay, p theta I, okay, if one of the parameter is not fixed, the other parameters are fixed, okay, along with the data, okay, this type of conditional distribution can be determined and directly sampled, okay. So this one sometimes this thing is very difficult to obtain, but this thing can be obtained. Okay, so we will see this type of examples in later part of the textbook. Okay, in later part of this textbook. Right now, let's just use an example. Just use the example. Of course, this example, well, to be very honest with you, okay, you can directly obtain the posterior. Okay, we just try to use this one as an example. Okay, for keep sampling. Okay, so for example, okay, by definition of the conditional probability, we have this theta 1 on condition theta 2d. Okay, it's going to be this one. This is it is based on what? This is based on the base rule, right? This from here to here is this is based on base rule. Okay, it's very simple. Okay, and then from here to here. Okay, this is basically okay. It's a marginal integration of marginal is integral of joint probability. Okay, so this is nothing new here. Okay, this is nothing new here. Okay, and then okay here for our application, assuming again we are assuming the flip of two coins. Okay, of course, as I said earlier, the flip of two coins, we already know the analytical result of the posterior distribution. Okay, but for now, let's just assume that thing is so difficult to obtain. Okay, let's just use the conditional probability here and keep sampling to try to obtain the posterior. Okay, so we are trying to obtain this one. Okay, this thing equal to this one, and this one basically is this one, right? We already know this is what? This is you fix the D and probability of theta 1 and theta 2 on condition of the data. What is that? That's your posterior, right? That's your posterior. Okay, the posterior, that's, posterior, you are going to write it out as this one times this one. Okay, we already know the result here. Okay, and the integral of this one, okay, keep in mind, this D, theta 1, it should have been placed at the end. Okay, and because you are doing integral on theta 1, so theta 2 can be considered as constant. Okay, so anyway, so this one is this is this part. Okay, and then with some like okay, after you combine, okay, after certain algebraic operation, this is what you get. Okay, again, okay. Now, okay, this one is a conditional probability distribution. It is a probability distribution. Okay, it's just that you fix the theta 2. Okay, but it is a conditional probability distribution. So when you do the integration on the theta 1, this thing is going to become 1. Okay, this thing is going to become 1. Okay, and using the similar technique that we have used previously, okay, eventually this one, we are going to get this one. Okay, I think I don't need to repeat what we have used, the technique that we have used previously. Okay, the integration of this term, okay, over theta 1 is going to be 1. And then you do, in other words, integration of this one over theta 1 is going to be 1. And eventually you'll force this, okay, the denominator to be the denominator of this thing. Okay. By the way, this is constant, by the way. I'm sorry. This one. I'm sorry. This one is constant. This one is constant. So you get this one. You get this one. This is going to differentiate this one. Okay. So anyway, okay. So this is your conditional probability distribution. Of course, you can do the similar thing for P theta 2 on condition of theta 1D. Okay, of course, you need to change this one to be beta theta 2 on condition of Z2 plus A2, N2 minus Z2 plus B2. Okay? And then, okay, you can use you can write a simple program to basically sample on top of this function, this beta function, okay, to get this one, okay. So this iteration is 50,000, okay. Of course, okay. In this 50,000, okay, 25,000 will be the change of theta 1. 25,000 will be the change of theta 2. And it happened iteratively, right? You change theta 1 first, and then you change theta 2. And then you change theta 1, and you change theta 2. Okay? So if you try to describe this change, like one by one, you will see that the trace of all these changes will be either vertically or horizontally. That's obviously the case, right? That's obviously the case. Okay? But be very careful. If you look at here, the effective sample size for theta 1 is how much? 30,000. The effective sample size for theta 2 is 29,000. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay? That's amazing. Even if you count it for only 25,000, when I say you count it for 25,000, what do I mean here? Okay? You actually did a 50,000 iteration, but we try to treat each pair of iteration as one. Because each pair of iteration, you only change both theta 1 and theta 2 after each pair of iteration, right? Okay? So let's consider like each pair of iteration as one iteration, one complete iteration. So in that case, well, you have 25,000 iteration. Okay? Of course, each of these iterations consists of one iteration for theta 1, one iteration for theta 2. Okay? So of course, in that case, I mean, the line will be not necessarily horizontal and vertical, right? It's going to be like in any direction now. Okay? So the trace will be something like this. But you can see that the effective sample size of theta 1 become 25,000. Effective sample size of theta 2 become also 25,000. This is so efficient, right? This is so efficient. Okay, compared with the Metropolis algorithm. Okay, if you compare that with Metropolis algorithm, in Metropolis algorithm, each 4 iterations will give you one effective sample size. But in the gift sampling, pretty much each iteration will give you one effective sample size. So it is very efficient sampling, okay, for you to construct posterior. Okay, so in other words, okay, because it's pretty much it's almost 4 times more efficient than the Metropolis algorithm. So let's say if you need like a 10,000 like effective sample size to create like a good approximation for the posterior, okay, using gift sampling, okay, you need only 1/4 of the number of iteration, okay, then you need, okay, when you use like a Metropolis algorithm, okay, so it's 4 times more efficient than Metropolis algorithm. But of course, it doesn't come for free, okay? It comes with a price. With what price? It comes with a price that you need to know. You need to be able to derive the conditional probability distribution. Okay? So that is like something that you have to keep. Okay? If you are able to do that, yeah, you will have like a much better, much efficient sampling technique. Okay? But if you cannot, then the best algorithm out there will be Metropolis algorithm. Well, to be honest with you, it will be Metropolis hasty. Okay, but well, since it is not covered in this book, so I will just skip that. But anyway, okay, Metropolis algorithm actually it works like almost, well, probably not as good as gift sampling, but it's very good. Okay, it's close to gift sampling, but it doesn't require a lot of assumptions. Okay, so but anyway, okay, here I just want to give you like these 2 different MCMC algorithms and to tell you like the difference between them and the performance between them. Okay, so pros and cons of gift sampling. there's no need to tune a proposal distribution and no inefficient of rejected proposals. You don't need to reject a proposal, and there's no need to tune proposal distribution because you don't have that the standard deviation value to tune, right? Okay. You don't need to worry about standard deviation being too large or too small. Okay, because every time you sample from a conditional probability distribution, because it is part of posterior distribution, so you always accept that. You always accept that. Okay, so there's no inefficiency of rejected proposals. But the disadvantage is that we must be able to derive the conditional probabilities of each parameter on the others and be able to generate random samples from those conditional probability distributions. So this may not be easy. This may not be easy. Okay. Another disadvantage, because it only changes one parameter value at a time, its progress can be stored by highly correlated parameters. What does that mean? If you imagine, okay, if you have a posterior distribution over two parameters, its shape is a narrow ridge along the diagonal of the parameter space. What should I say? You know, Mega Man, right? You know Mega Man， 超人力霸王，咸蛋超人。不要跟我讲不知道咸蛋超人，难道我连咸蛋超人你们都跟我不一样时代吗？应该有 Q 版的嘛？你们现在这个年代 ，OK， it's called Mega Man, right? Okay, Mega Man has this like the ridge, right? Okay, mohawk, right? Kind of mohawk, but of course, like it's not mohawk. It's kind of like a ridge, right? So if you're posterior, okay, looks like this. This x equal to y. This is theta 1, theta 2. Okay, well, it's not x equal to y. It's x theta 1 equal to theta 2. So you have like a very special shape of this posterior. It's like it's very high. Okay, only at this line. Okay, it's very high, very concentrated on the line of theta 1 equal to theta 2. Okay, and for the other places, it's almost all 0. Okay, so in that case, okay, say because you are using you are trying to change the theta 1 and then change the theta 2, right? Okay, what happened? Okay, because if you look from upside, if your eye is here, okay, if you look here, this direction, it's going to be like okay, it's going to be near it's going to be something like this, right? In here, it's very concentrated. Very concentrated. Right? And then, because every time you just change one, this is theta 1, this is theta 2. Okay, because when you fix theta 2, you try to change theta 1, because say originally you are here, and then you will find that you really don't have a lot of place to go, right? Because for theta 1, if you look from this direction, actually it's kind of like here, right? So you cannot go any very far away from here. Maybe you go just a little bit away. And now you try to change theta 2. Again, okay, if you look from this direction here to here, okay, again it becomes like this. So you really cannot go anywhere. So you kind of stored here, right? You kind of get stored, get stuck in this region because you cannot move too far away. At stellar 1, you cannot move too far away at stellar 2. Okay, you are allowed to move very freely along stellar 1 equal to stellar 2, this axis, but unfortunately, we are confined, okay, to move, okay, either fix stellar 2 and move on stellar 1, or fix stellar 1, move on stellar 2. In this particular, very special situation, okay, then, yeah, because the sample, okay, all the samples will come from a very small range, okay, so it's not going to be very efficient, okay, because you cannot have freedom to explore all the parameter space, okay, you don't have that freedom, okay, that's a special case. That's a special case. Okay. So every step in the chip, either from Gibbs or Metropolis, is a combination of theta 1 and theta 2 values that are jointly credible. So at each step in the chip, okay, a credible difference is theta 1 minus theta 2. So let's look at the difference. Okay, because eventually, remember the question that we want to answer, if you still remember at the beginning, well, very, very long, right here. Keep simple, not too far. This one, remember, we want to know, okay, to estimate the biases of two coins, and they are different by how much? Remember, their biases are different by how much? Okay, so that's our original question, right? Okay, that's our original question. So we are in the position to talk about this thing now. Here. Every step in the chip, either from Gibbs or Metropolis, is a combination of theta 1 and theta 2 values that are jointly credible. So at each step in the chip, the credible difference is theta 1 minus theta 2. So we can see, okay, we can pretty much compute the theta 1 minus theta 2, and this is what we obtain. For Metropolis algorithm, okay, this is a result, okay, of theta 1 minus theta 2, okay. This is another result of theta 1 minus theta 2. Of course, let's see. Let's see if I think this one represents Metropolis algorithm. One of them represent. Yeah, I remember. Okay. One of them represent here. Okay. This one represents like the one with like a very low standard deviation. Okay. Which result in very low effective sample size. This one result in like I think like a acceptance rate, the ratio of like accepted proposal divided by the number of proposals is like 0.41. If you remember, okay, this one, okay, we have much better like number of effective sample size. So you can see, okay, this one, the mode is 0.348. This one, the mode is 0.288, okay? And 95% HDI is from negative 0.0479 to 0.658. This one is from negative 0.081 to 0.662. You can see this one and this one, their results very different, right? But if you look at the bottom one, okay, because the bottom one, okay, the left one actually is a Gibbs sampling with the intermediate steps. This is the result we obtained from this one, from left one. Okay, we consider like each x iteration, each theta 1 iteration, each theta 1 change, each theta 2 change separately. Okay, so this is like we have the mode is 0.323, and 95% HDI is from negative 0.0688 to 0.666. Okay, and if you consider each pair of like change as one iteration, okay, you change the theta 1 and theta 2 combined to consider as one iteration. Okay, you see the mode is 0.322. It's almost the same, right? And 95% HDI is it ranges from 0.0689 to 0.665. Again, these two are very close to each other, right? Because they both have very high effective sample size. And if you look at the top one, this one actually is kind of close to, well, I'm sorry, okay, I take my word back. Okay, let me see, there's 88, 40. Yeah, it's still not enough, okay? These two are still not enough, okay? We still do not have enough sample size, okay, to obtain like an accurate result. Okay, no matter you are using like the low standard deviation or even like a much better standard deviation, even for the upper right corner one. Okay, even though you have like I remember it's like a 12,000 effective sample size, it's still not enough. Okay, to estimate theta 1 minus theta 2, to have like a good estimation of theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, but the lower one, okay, because each one will have like about above 50,000 effective sample size, right? So they are much better, okay, in terms of estimating the theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But some of you may wonder, what's the purpose of this line? Okay, we haven't we are not yet to the point to discuss this line yet. Okay, we will be able to discuss this line at a later time. Right now, I think we can skip this part. Okay, we just discussed the mode and the 95% HDI. That's good enough. Okay. Okay, so we still have 5 minutes. Okay. So any simulation that samples a lot of random value from a distribution is called a Monte Carlo simulation. I already discussed that. So Ms. Parr's algorithm and the Gibbs sampling are specific types of Monte Carlo process. And any process in which each step has no memory for states before the current one. Okay, it only depends on the current step. Okay, and it doesn't depend on the state before the current step. Okay, it's called first order Markov process. Okay, of course, if it depends on, for example, like this current step and the previous one, okay, it's called second order Markov process. Okay, but so depending on like what you are talking about. But if you do not talk about first, this term, then when we talk about Markov process, basically we just talk about like implicitly means that it's first order Markov process. In other words, only the decision is only dependent to the current status. Okay, and the succession of each step is a Markov chain. Okay. So, okay. So 3 main goals in generating MCNC sample from posterior. Okay. So there are 3 important goals in generating MCMC samples, okay, from posterior. First, the value in each chain must be representative of the posterior distribution. They should not be unduly influenced by the arbitrary initial value. So the initial value of the chain should not influence the representativeness of the posterior distribution. Okay? And the chain should fully explore the range of posterior distribution without getting stuck. Okay, second, the chain should be of sufficient size so that estimates are accurate and stable. Okay, in particular, the estimates of the central tendency, such as median and mode, and the limits of 95% HDI should not be much different if the MCMC analysis is run again. Of course, I mean, if we are using different seed states for the sure random number generator, okay? I mean, we should get similar results. That's what I mean by accurate and stable. Okay? And third, the chain should be generated efficiently with as few steps, okay, as possible, so not to exceed our patience or computing power. Okay, so we will describe like these three aspects, these three goals. Okay, we generate MCMC sample. Okay, in detail. Okay, well, I think we still have like 2 minutes, but I'm really running out of gas. Let's take a break now. What do you think? Okay, so we will start the lecture here. Okay, the MCMC representativeness. Okay, next time. Okay. So we still have like about 20 slides. Okay, so it's about like 1.5 lectures. Okay. Okay. So let's call it a day. Okay. Shall we? Okay. So I will see you the week after the next. Okay. The second coming Thursday. Okay? Any question? Okay. So the second coming Thursday, okay, after I finish this chapter, I'm going to assign the third homework. Okay? So before that, okay, after you finish the second homework, you still have some time to relax. Okay? So I guess that's about it. Okay? So if you don't have any question, that's it for today. I'll see you next week.